Peace, 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 and welcome to the Origins of Om podcast. I'm your host, Om Maya, and today we're going to go into the Principles of Correspondence, which is the same as law of correspondence. What does that look like? So think of it as the maximum establishment in life is that there is harmony between your physical, mental, and spiritual plane, okay? And all planes, they exist. Everything is connected, okay? And everything is in correspondence from a macro aspect, macrocosmic aspect to a microcosmic aspect and vice versa. When you look at how that plays into your life, how you do anything is how you do everything, okay? So an example is, for me, when I used to wake up in the mornings, I didn't make my bed. I just get up, brush my teeth, take a shower, and then throw on my clothes, head out, right? And as I've gotten older and learned to slow down, because that is more rich than rushing to get up and do stuff every morning and being pulled in every direction of life and allowing life to determine how I feel and how that looks for me that day. I started to slow down when I wake up. I have the time to set an intention. So I'm thanking the divine. I'm thanking everything that exists to be here in this moment. It's my opportunity to clear some things up from the past that my past family members didn't get the opportunity to do. They did what they needed to do in their time, and here I am doing what I need to do in my time for the generations to come. Imagine if you knew that you were responsible for 7 generations to come. How would you live your life then? If we really were brought up as we are kings and queens, right? We are of royalty, of the royal blood of our mother, divine mother and father. So we're made up of all of the minerals, right? Our physical body is made up of earth's elements, right? And then when you think of the spirit, and it's made up of, the vibration, the sound, all these things that you can't see, but you can perceive. This is how you are designed and made organically. And I came to realize through understanding more of who's running my show. Is it my higher self, my soul, or is it my lower self? Is it the secular, the physical aspect of myself? Who's running my show here? So I started looking at what has more power over me, whether it was something I ate, I was drinking, smoking, whatever. I started realizing this pulled me more and pulled more of my time away from things I could have been doing that's more productive. That has to go. That's running my life, right? That's taking over my time. The time that I could be putting into reading a good book, a book that's going to make me think, make me perceive things differently in the world, make me question why I'm here. You want those challenges in life. You want those things to come up, because every time those things come up, that is an opportunity for you to expand your awareness in this realm, to perceive life deeper and farther than majority of the people are doing right now. Right now, everyone's existing according to what they're being told, what they are looking at, right? Especially what they eat. I started noticing, I've tried all these different eating regimens, right? And I found that what works for me is balance. If I'm only eating fruits and veggies, right, my body, even though I'm a lot more energetic and a lot more clear. I go through really severe like menstrual periods. It's not really fun. Um, and my body is speaking to me at that moment. I remember when I had it was like twice that this happened to me, and I was going through juicing for a couple of months, just straight juicing, and I would have like something that didn't have any meat. And that was great. And what was happening was I started feeling lightheaded, um, cramping really, really bad to where like I felt like I was gonna pass out. And Spirit was like, you have got to balance it out. You have got to balance your body out. That's why you're here. See, you've done all this other stuff already. Like I could be a singer. I don't want to sing. At least not in the capacity of, becoming famous. And the reason of that is because I've seen how the industry does. Like, I just seen how it is in general, too much of something. If you go into something you want to do, make sure that you're creating a space where there's residual income and you're not just overworking your skills and your creativity. Because if you're overworking your skills and your creativity, it becomes a job, and then you're exhausted, and then you're worn out. And then, if I can use a good example, you'd be like Mariah Carey, who sang them pipes to the ground. She can't even hit a note anymore. I don't care what y'all say. The girl is lip singing. And and I love Mariah Carey. But at the end of the day, when your time is up, your time is up. You've already outworn your gifts and your talents. So with my gifts and my talents, I preserve that just like I do anything else. How I do anything is how I do everything. So I started looking to God is a God of preservation. And if God is a God of preservation, then I'm doing too much right now. I'm excessively, dieting, or I'm excessively eating, meat. And so I look at what's working for me. Okay, let me be real with myself if I'm not real with anybody else. Okay, what am I putting in my body when I'm in my in the winter seasons where I want to fuel up, and keep my belly full, right? Because I'm cold in nature and I want to feel the heat from my body having to work to digest my food, right? Yeah, like that. So when I look in those details, I'm like, okay, I want to put less meat in my body and more of, fruits and veggies. So in the mornings, I make a smoothie. Smoothies help replace meals. Juicing helps to detox and to flush out anything that's in your body that doesn't belong in there. So a lot of times people think that they're fasting when they're, drinking smoothies. The body still has to work and break all those nutrients down. Thinking on that level, though, you learn your body, you learn what works for you and how you can take care of it. If you're going to eat certain foods, right, that may not agree with you, do it in moderation. And this is just development until you get to a place where you don't even need food. And there is a place that exists. I've done it, and it feels great because you're not thinking about anything but breath. You're just breathing, and you're light. Your mind is light. Think about it. In the higher realms, that Akashic mindset is going. It's going. It's just going. And you're chasing it, choosing what you want to follow. Maybe I'll follow this thought. Ooh, this feels good. Whether it's sad, whether you're angry, whether you're confused, and to be honest with you, most anger sparks from lack of understanding. To not know creates the emotions of fear, anger, sadness, right? And To know creates more self-control, self-mastery, where I'm not moved by my thoughts. I'm not moved by my emotions. I'm not moved by what somebody says to me because I know that doesn't apply to me. When you know who you are in the spirit, then this body is literally just a temporary vessel to dwell in. But you must do the work while you're in the body, because this helps to elevate you into higher places, higher realms, higher opportunities, whether you experience it in this dimension or in another dimension. At the end of the day, you're constantly expanding, you're constantly evolving, but you're not evolving in the nature, in the natural realm, unless you're involved within yourself, which you're in tune with who you are, what you're doing, why you're doing it. When you are connecting with other people, who is this person for me? Why are they in my life? Is it taking up my time or is it adding to my life? You get what I'm saying? Look at where you're pouring into. Are you just draining yourself pouring into people, or are you communicating with those that are pouring back into you in some way? Where are you spending your time? These are the things that will help you in creating more intentions in your life when you're aware of it, and not living in the fear like, ooh, I don't want to be around people. I don't want to talk to them. No, but consciousness around, okay, I enjoy being around this person. This person brings more light into my life. I can be around them. I can share light with them. They share light with me. It's all good. This person over here likes to drain me with their stories and all this stuff to manipulate. And then, they're constantly wanting me to be around them. And yeah, that feels good to you probably because you feel like you're this intelligent being coming from heaven that's shining light on all these people. But really what you're doing is you're exuding all this light and energy and awareness around dead bodies, dead mindsets, people that just want to consume your energy and then go, wow, that feels great. Yeah, I love the way you said that, but they're not processing any of it and they're not doing that work. So again, where are you putting your time? Where are you wasting time? And as you slow down, which we've all had that privilege to do so in 2020, when you slow down, you start noticing, wow, so this is what's happening in the world right now. I mean, it's bigger than you could even think. See, a lot of times, especially for me, I remember growing up, I didn't want to get involved in no politics or any of that. I didn't even know who half these people were until 2020, really. And what hit me though, Spirit had to show me this is why becoming one point minded and meditation and self mastery is so important, because then no one else can control you. No one else can control how you feel that day and what you do with the day. You're always choosing to win. You're always choosing to have a great day. You're always choosing to create and to choose nothing but the best in you. And that doesn't have to look a certain way. Because again, you can see one image and one person perceives it one way and another person's going to perceive it another way. There's really no such thing as this good or bad, right? It's what you make it. And we can look at that on all levels, on the things that we cringe at or we turn our faces, our noses up to that we don't like, that somebody else is like, oh, this is heaven. Maybe you look into what makes that heaven for them. Because again, pleasure is the highest form of contentment. And with pleasure, there could be an overstimulant of pleasure where you're just always in, this comfort, this good space, right? And there's no lessons being learned. There's no challenges being thrown at you and how you take that. And it's like, oh, I don't want to go through that. I don't want to go through any challenge. I don't want to go through any suffering. But you don't get to choose. And if you are avoiding something in your life, you're going to have to face it regardless. So do you want to face it willingly, or do you want it to just come forcibly? Because it's going to be one or the other. And it's going to come in a moment where you're not really thinking about it, right? You're just comfortable, whatever you're doing, and it's happening to you. Now you got to start making some changes. Now you got to start adjusting. Now you got to start looking at your circle more because it's intense and it's out of balance, right? So I didn't want to stay on this topic too long because it's pretty much self-explanatory. The higher self is learning to master the lower self. Who is the higher self, though? How can I get to know? It's levels to this, and there is no skipping around. Who am I in spirit? Who am I in Christ? Who am I in the God, Mother, Father? Who am I in that? What does that look like? What are my powers? What are my gifts? What are my talents? A lot of y'all are walking around here. Y'all got amazing gifts, but you use it for negative reasons, or you use it for the lower aspect. You know, it's like, for example, watch. This person's going to hurt me anyway. And then, see, I told you, I knew you were going to hurt me. Well, damn, you created that. You set it in your head. Now it's manifested. Now you're looking at this person and you're disgusted with them. But you made them that way. Maybe they showed up to you in a form and you were waiting on it. A lot of times we play with ourselves psychologically and don't even know we're doing it. You knew right off the rip when you met that person, they were a little off. And then not only did you continue on with the show and allow them to be your co-hosts, but hell, you made them officially a part of your life for the next 2-3 years. And then you're constantly doing this battle between them. The battle is only in you. This person just manifested an existence for you to show you yourself. As above, so below. How it is in the heavens is how it is in the lower planes, or what you call hell. How it is in the macrocosmic, in the planets, in the universe, in the galaxies. That's all going down in you. The war that's happening in the spiritual realm is showing up in the physical. But guess who's winning? We winning. We the people are winning against the corporations that have stolen from us since birth. Like, to know that there is an inheritance for me already waiting for me to claim. It does something to me to where it gives me that confidence and that reassurance in knowing that God is always in control, always running this show. Now, I'm not talking about God raw. I'm past that. I'm past the sun. I'm talking about the unseen hand, the one that exists that doesn't exist, the all, right? The all that is and that isn't. That's where I come from. That's my origin. That's what I'm getting back to. In every level of challenge in life, speak it in yourself. I win. I win every time. I win. And not in that egotistical aspect, but in the spirit wins, the soul wins. Because when you start speaking like that in your life, I don't care how jacked up it is, how confused and stuck you are, watch how your life just transforms in front of you. Your friends change. You might lose it all at first. It might look pretty disastrous, but you want that because there's better for you. There's always better for you. When you stop making it about you and trying to be your will that needs to be ran, but the will of the divine coming out of yourself and saying, you know what, I'm going to actually stop trying to keep up with everyone else and just keep up at my own pace to what feels good to me. Stop sizing myself up against other people and size myself up with myself. Like, when I wake up in the morning, am I just jumping up, getting ready and going out the door? Or am I waking up, taking a minute, taking a few breaths, thanking the divine for everything that has been revealed to me and all the wonderful, miraculous things that are coming to me now that are showing up? And then actually getting up out of my bed, cleaning myself up, or do my exercise in the mornings, and then I'm cleaning my body, taking my cold shower. So every chance I get, I'm creating a form of uncomfortableness to where it becomes comfortable. Because we can adapt to anything or any environment anyway. We're a part of this nature, this planet. So it's not like if you don't have a house, you're not home and you're not taken care of. You're always taken care of. That's the crazy thing. Even in your lowest, even at the lowest of the lowest of the lowest of existence that you watch somebody have or experience, God is present. And at the highest of the glorious crown of experience that you can see somebody going through, God exists. How do you know? Because they're right there in a body. It's right there in the body. So anyway, before I get off, I wanted to read this quote from the Book of the Kabbalion, which is really one of my favorite books that if you're going to go into getting to know yourself, it's a great start from there. Which if you're reading any other text, Sufi, Hindu, whatever, you'll find that the story is all the same. It's explained differently and in different ways and forms that work for your mind. Everybody learns differently. They perceive differently. So what one person can pull from it, another might struggle with. That's okay. Just know that these things exist in you already, period. And if you can think it up, if you can, if the thought comes to you, it must be so. So it is from the Divine Paradox section. And the quote says, "The half-wise, recognizing the comparative unreality of the universe, imagine that they may defy its laws. Such are a vain and presumptuous fools, and they are broken against the rocks and torn asunder by the elements by reasons of their folly. The truly wise, knowing the nature of the universe, use law against laws, the higher against the lower, and by the art of alchemy transmute that which is undesirable into that which is worthy, as thus triumph. Mastery consists not in abnormal dreams, visions, and fantastic imaginations, or living, but in using the higher forces against the lower, escaping the pains of the lower planes by vibrating on the higher. Transmutation, not presumptuous denial, is the weapon of the mastery." So, real quick, where it mentions using the law, the L is capital, against laws. Listen. When you look at people like, and I'm just going to use basic people that we've been programmed to learn, like Malcolm X, Dr. Martin Luther King, right? Some of these great, powerful speakers. Specifically Malcolm X, because Malcolm X you would consider a rebel, someone who was speaking the law against man's law, or should I say the economic laws that are set in place to keep you in the illusion, to keep you confused. When you go to court, you don't know what to do. You don't know what to say. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know why the judge is anything. But see, if you were taking out the time to actually master all of the aspects of yourself, from your finances to your health to the way you operate in love for people, the way that you operate in how you speak to people, speaking your truth. And I'm going up all the chakras pretty much, but all the way until knowing that you come from royalty and that God has given you access through the power of the tongue and the renewing of your mind to be able to speak and defend yourself and your family when those lowercase laws try to offend you or molest you, because you're interrupted from your natural practice, your spiritual practice, the thing that you do all day to keep yourself in a high frequency. Now you got a bill that's trying to throw your energy off, or you got somebody at your door trying to tell you you need to come do this or whatever, pulling you to something that you really don't want to do. That's called harassment. That's called what I call a form of molestation, because you're on the road and you're having a good vibe and a good time, and then you get pulled over. You're not, oh, hey, how you doing? No, you're like, what the hell, man? What? Do you know why I pulled you over? So you got to go through that whole skit. This whole reality is a skit. But you don't know because you believe in these agents, doctors, lawyers, judges that are also attorneys. They're not real judges. Like, everyone's showing you, and they're showing you even in the media, how they play on you with these titles when they're just regular folks like you and me. They just know how to play the game of chess. They know how to speak the spell to get you to obey and listen. Because if I can get enough people to believe me, right, then it is so. But I don't stand on belief. I stand on knowing. Because to know is to know the truth. And if I know the truth, then the truth doesn't change. Even though all is half truth, right? It is. You got to look at, if I'm standing on the word, even if I use the word, the Bible, against them, then I'm in divine order, in divine harmony. I'm defending and I'm standing and I'm protecting the lower aspect of myself that was ignorant, doesn't know, isn't aware. So even though I don't want to go and read it and understand this stuff, because I'm not interested in all this politics and all this government stuff, well, then you're going to constantly be in the shadows, and your family will suffer because you don't want to do the work here to make sure that your generations to come don't have to work a job, don't have to struggle, unless they want to be a part of the economy and help out. And that's what it should be about, versus feeling forced to do something to make someone else wealthy. No, the family is wealthy already. They need to go and claim their estates. But this is where you go, well, how does that have to do with the spirit? Everything. Everything. It has everything to do with the spirit. And you're never too old to go and learn this stuff and do the work. I know people who woke up at 57 and they're late 60s now. Oh, I wish I would have known how to do this. But it's never too late. Start wherever you at. Hell, if you're in your 20s, you're super lucky. You really need to get on understanding your nationality, because you're in a body and you have to show representation from somewhere. If you don't, you calling yourself black, that's not from nature. That's not organic. You calling yourself white, that's not organic. Those are colors. What is your nationality? Where do you come from? Right? When you start there, Spirit is going to show you. Let me be the living word for you. When Christ came, Christ wasn't in the church praising and worshiping. Christ praised Jesus, the story of Jesus, right? Which is a whole nother story, which has to do with another person. We're not going to go there right now. But when Jesus was here, Jesus was ministering to the people on love, healing, mindset about how you show up for others, how you show up for yourself and your family, and the list goes on. When he was encountering these so-called tax collectors and attorneys and judges and preachers and everyone else, you notice it was removing you from what you were doing into doing it in higher places. If you were collecting taxes, let me show you how to collect from others, in the spirit, how you collect, the lower debts, the death of them, and bring them out of the death of their existence, of their minds, and bring them into life. Get to know life, understand why these people work so hard to keep you out of discovering your true power and who you are and why you're here. You came here for a reason, but you just got distracted and distorted. And now you have to get back to that. And you're never too old to do this. And you're never too young. And if you can do it young, then man, you'll be set in your late 30s. And if you're in your 30s, get going now. There's really no time to this. Do the work and watch how life just, even today, taking out the time to listen to this podcast is so appreciative. I'm really amazed because I have at least so far as 20 listeners. And that's a big deal starting off because, it's like I expect it to, just be a few, but I'm so grateful for the support that I have around me and the people that actually want to hear what it is that I have to share. Trust me, it goes really deep with me. Yet, I'm just happy to share on the surface. And keep in mind, if you go to my IG, you can go to Origins of Own Podcasts and click on the link in the bio. I do have a one-on-one session. We can connect. If you have any questions, feel free to send me any questions. It's been an honor and a pleasure speaking with you. I'm going to speak life, manifestation of truth, peace, happiness, and abundance. Have a wonderful evening. Later.